Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunny Side podcast. Today, I am joined by the Vice President of a company called PeopleToGo, Mr. Chris Collins. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Finn?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, Chris, just for the audience and the viewers, would you mind summarising a little bit about yourself and what you guys do at PeopleToGo, if that's okay?
Yeah, I'm the Vice President of Sales and Managing Partner at PeopleToGo. I've been with the company since the beginning. I was the first employee of this company and became
Oh,
one of
nice.
the owners a few days before the pandemic exploded in Canada. Regarding PeopleToGo, we're a channel-centric technology service provider. What that means is we work exclusively with technology service-based organizations, original equipment, so OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, managed service providers, solution providers, resellers, IoTs, the list goes on and on. So we work with them specifically, helping them align different types of IT resources, services, and solutions that they then provide to their clients to drive successful business outcomes. So our whole business model is predicated on customer enablement. We don't win unless our customers win. So their success becomes our success. So we're very focused on working with them very collaboratively, very consultatively, really understanding the pain points and challenges that their clients have and how we can work together to develop a solution that drives the type of outcomes that they're looking for. And then it becomes rinse and repeat. We earn the business, we deliver the outcomes, and we earn more and more of their business. So it's a very safe business model from our customers' perspective. They love the fact that we don't compete with them, and that we have a vested interest in helping them be successful to achieve the same result on our end. But yeah, right now we're in a hyper growth mode. What I'll call hyper growth mode. There is a extreme demand for technology services and staffing in North America right now. Skills gaps and labor shortages are growing like crazy, and there is no magic wand we can wave to solve those problems. So essentially what we've done to help companies bridge the gap between supply and demand is we started this 25 years ago, and we just celebrated our 25th anniversary very recently in July, in
Congrats.
fact, is we build and manage a vast pool of technology talent that our technology customers and their clients can draw from to meet their on-demand resourcing needs. So whether they need a project manager for a 6-month contract duration for a digital transformation project, or they're going to upgrade or refresh 5,000 desktops, laptops, point of sale terminals across Canada or the US. And we cover all of Canada, which is no small feat because we are the second largest country in the world geographically. We have over 900,000 postal codes. So we have this massive talent pool goes across every province, every territory, enabling us to provide expedited service when needed. That doesn't mean we have a local resource in every single postal code, but we've got the vast majority of them covered.
Interesting. Okay, that's a very, very good overview. So obviously you've been there for about 25 years now. Has that always been the business model, or has that changed over time? Has it always been the similar sort of thing?
It has the original business plan. Our founder and CEO, who's still involved in the business, he was a bit of a visionary because he recognized back in really the late '90s when he was working for a very very large what we call a value-added reseller, a very large Canadian company, that they were too logistics focused, they were too hardware centric, and there's diminishing margins in hardware sales, and has been for a very long time now. And he realized that they were not set up to help support their clients' changing on-site service needs. They just didn't have the resources for this. So he had the foresight to recognize that as the technology industry continues to evolve at a feverish pace, companies are going to struggle to meet those on-demand resourcing needs because they just don't have a virtual bench or a talent pool that they can draw from. So he made a very conscious decision, which was a pretty bold move, leaving a very high-paying job and starting up a technology staffing company, which is where the name PeopleToGo comes from. Within a few years, that morphed into us becoming a service provider because we created a field services division. So we have one part of our business is technology staffing. The other part is field services, which includes doing project-based work. It includes SLA driven. So, okay, a point of sale terminal just crashed at Lululemon's at Christmas time. The whole world is going to end unless we get that fixed.
Yeah.
So we're one of the companies that technology companies dispatch to get those problems fixed. So we're doing a lot of emergency or expedited service requests, 3-4 hour SLA. So we have to be on site very, very quickly. So what that means in our world is that we have to manage utilization of our resources extremely efficiently to ensure we can meet SLAs, not just meet them, but exceed them, and we typically do. In most technology service contracts, you have what's called a service level objective. This is the target you have to hit on a monthly basis. And clients don't expect perfection. They don't expect you're going to be hit SLA 100% of the time, but we're hitting it 99% of the time. So we're very laser focused on making sure that, number one, we're enhancing our customer's brand, a technology service organization, with their client and delivering the outcomes very consistently. So the talent pool is one of the key differentiators between us and everybody else, plus our value proposition is we do not sell our services to end clients. We sell exclusively to technology service organizations, not just the enterprise guys, which we do significantly. They're the companies that keep the lights on, but we have a very big customer base with mid-market, medium-sized companies, and small business. And in Canada, I'm sure this is the same way in other countries in the world, Canada, small businesses are the beating heart of our economy, vital for national prosperity. They also don't necessarily feel the love from some of the bigger technology companies. So we have tailored solutions and customized solutions pretty much for every client or customer type, right? So it's not one size fits all. We work with them very collaboratively, consultatively, as I mentioned before, really understand their unique challenges and pain points, and then customize a solution to address that and drive the type of outcomes they're looking for, over the long term. And that's how we quite frankly, we earn trusted advisor status, and we earn more of our customers' business. We have some clients, some of our customers where we've done 5, 6, 7, 10 projects for the same end client, and they're no longer shopping those deals around. They go directly to our customer, knowing full well that PeopleToGo is the guys who are going to deliver the outcome, for them at the end of the day. And then some of our services are white labeled too, Finn. So when we step on site, we're not, we're whomever our customer tells us to be.
Oh, I see.
Right? Representing their brand in the marketplace. So we've got tens of thousands of technicians and engineers that we draw in our talent pool, and we're consistently adding new people. And the average tenure of one of our field service resources is nearly 15 years, which is unheard of in the field services world, especially with the abundance of remote technology positions available these days.
That is very, very interesting. Really, I didn't know that. Okay, then. So obviously, PeopleToGo has a unique rule. Like, you don't sell you only sell services, and you don't actually sell a product. And you don't compete with your competitors. So why do you think that rule is so important for winning these big projects, like you've just mentioned, like the Dells and the people like that?
Yeah, I think, this might be a little bit controversial to a certain extent, but I can wax philosophical about this all day long. I personally believe when I got into the industry, first of all, I was surrounded by just some incredible people. I had PeopleToGo, and then our founder introduced me to legends in the industry. And one thing I started to realize very quickly was, yes, the industry is very product centric. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Right? But you fast forward 24, 25 years, it still very much is, in my opinion. And one of the things that we had to do differently, besides our value proposition, is we know that we needed to enable our customers to be successful. And what that requires us to be is very collaborative and very consultative. And the consultative, I'll belabor that point because it is I'm going to say institutional difference between us and a lot of other organizations. We actually understand the pain points and challenges, help our customers understand the challenges and pain points that their clients have. Like, how can you align the right service or solution if you don't know what the true problems are?
Can't.
And understanding the impact to their business as well. So when we get on a discovery call, often a three-legged call, where it'll be us, our customer, and the end client, we're representing ourselves typically because a lot of customers are transparent. If we were working with some other organizations, it would be 100% white labeled, so we probably wouldn't be on the discovery call for that reason. We get the client talking, get them to open up and talk about their pain points, their challenges, the requirements and desired outcomes they're looking for, and then we ask good, meaningful questions that clearly demonstrate our expertise and our empathy with that specific problem. And that's a very important point. This is, for me, the impetus of consultative selling, is really understanding that pain point and challenge, and then being able to provide your value. So more often than not, by the time the client is done talking about their challenges and pain points, we probably have a good understanding already of where, of can we help them? If so, what that could look like. And then we start asking questions just to clarify and make sure we have the understanding. And they immediately connect with us. They go, okay, these guys understand me. They get my pain point and challenge. So for me, and this is the controversial part to a certain degree, I guess, depending on who you ask, we're in a world of transactional sales in IT, where it's very product centric, and the concept of solution selling isn't what it once was when I got into the business a long time ago, although it feels like yesterday some days. And I think that's one of the huge differences between PeopleToGo and any other company that may think they compete with us, is that we're going to dig deep. And that client will recognize that we empathize and understand that challenge and pain point. And that's a big part of sales. It's really just connecting and empathizing with the buyers. And then we give them confidence that we can provide the right solution. We might provide alternative solutions in addition to the one they might ask. And there's different ways that we can do this, and we'll give them some examples. Again, that's an example of being consultative, right? And that's not the world that we live in anymore.
It's
right?
not,
So
no.
we every day we get opportunities. We love our customers; they're phenomenal. We've earned their trust, so we have trusted advisor status. But we'll get opportunities. It'll be a one-liner. Oh, they need to deploy they're doing a Windows 11 migration. Okay, great. When, dates, how many sites are we talking about? How many assets? Is this an in-place migration? Are we refreshing hardware too? Are we doing both? We'll ask a lot of questions around site readiness, planning, all these type of things. And more often than not, we're not going to have a lot of information up front, which is why we push for discovery calls, which gives us the opportunity to really demonstrate our experience and our value and connect with that client's pain point. And then, we work very closely with our customers who have their own value layer. They do things that we can't, so we complement each other very nicely. But again, going back to our business model, they love the fact that we don't compete with them. So they're not worried that we're going to try and backdoor them and go directly to the client. That's not our business model, never has been, never will be, right? Our focus is helping our technology service customers deliver success, measurable, impactful success and outcomes for their clients. And we're uncompromising on that. So we will qualify opportunities as best we can. Often, as you can imagine, we have to defer to experience and assumptions in lieu of information to drive opportunities forward. But that's the nature of the beast. But that's where the controversial part comes in, is that it's just so still 24, 25 years later, very product driven.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't sell products.
Yeah.
Our services, as you said, that's labor and services only. We're providing skilled resources, or we're managing an outcome, for the client. And often, as I mentioned, doing it under their distinct brand if they want to white label it, which some of the largest technology service organizations, the manufacturers in particular, I won't rattle off the names. You did a few of them. We represent them. Like we look like one of their badged employees when we step on site.
Really?
Yeah, so again, we essentially become an extension of their service delivery and resourcing capabilities, but under their distinct brand in the marketplace. So our job is to not just represent their brand, to enhance their brand. So we deliver the positive experience with their clients, they earn more of their clients' business, and then it comes back to us.
Interesting. So when you are on like a discovery with your potential clients, I mean, what are the main kind of pain points that they're experiencing before working with somebody like you?
Yeah, great question. Well, some of the big pain points really are about resourcing capabilities, because in Canada, and it's the same problem in the US, this is a global issue. We've been pumping out a lot of thought leadership about this in the last couple of years, and we update it fairly frequently. There's no secret that there are critical skills gaps and labor shortages. This has been building for decades, especially in Canada. And unfortunately, in my opinion, industry education and government just have not collaborated to develop a strategy around creating a sustainable pipeline of talent. Historically, in Canada anyways, that's been based on immigration. Things have slowed down. We think we know the reasons why things have slowed down. However, that's a big problem that a lot of clients have, is we don't have the resources. Our customers often don't have the resources. They're lean and mean. So they need access to a robust, diverse, and national talent pool or international talent pool that they can draw from when they need to draw from it, right? And one of the things that I've always liked about our business model is the flexibility. Is customers will ask us for rate cards, they'll ask us for what's the minimum engagement. Well, there is no minimum. There is, because we tailor our solutions to meet the customer and the end client's needs. So whether you buy from us every single day or you buy from us once or twice a year, Our focus is just to drive the outcome, provide the consistent value, and part of that consistent value comes with the thought leadership that we're sharing with technology service organizations about the changing landscape or the volatile tech talent ecosystem. Like Canada is a leading global technology innovator, and we're an AI magnet up here right now. Some of the biggest companies in the world are setting up shop here because we have a very robust talent pool, but we have real world problems with with major skills gaps in some of the more transformative technologies. So in our organization, we have a proactive resourcing model. We go out and go, okay, cybersecurity, they're forecasting 26,000, shortage of 26,000 cybersecurity consultants in 2026. Or we don't have enough DevOps or AI, machine learning. So we proactively go out there and build those individual talent pools and nurture relationships in combination with the personal touch and AI to provide consistent value to our talent pool the same way we do with our customers. So that helps ensure that we receive a fairly expeditious response when we reach out. So if a customer comes with, hey, I need an AI consultant for a 1-year consulting arrangement, we're usually getting candidates in the same day, within 2 to 3 business days at the latest, depending on the complexity of the requirement. But the death of consultative selling is a big challenge because we're still living in a very product-centric world. And that's where our customers lean on us, because we are not product-centric. We're product agnostic. And we're also what we call multi-vendor services capable. So we can do a Dell server in the morning, they'll do an NCR point of sale terminal at 2 hours later, and then work on a blood pressure monitor after that. So our technicians and engineers are trained on a variety of different product types: consumer electronics, traditional IT, electromechanical. It's changing. Everything's changing. We're going to be doing washers and dryers in the near future, and we already have, in fact, because it's more tech driven than it was. It's less still electromechanical, but it's more and more IT driven than it was before. So, we manage utilization of these resources, which is why we hold on to these guys for a long time. Like 15 years is the average tenure, nearly 15 years for a field service tech or engineer. That's unheard of, right? So they are resources. I talked about the value add to our talent pool. We treat these people like family, and they feel a sense of purpose and attachment to the PeopleToGo brand, which is why we hold on to them. And they get access to an incredible array of different types of opportunities. So they're not just doing the same thing day in and day out. It can be a very diverse set of service calls or project-based work or staffing engagements. We put these people on, but it's about managing utilization of those resources and building trust. The same way we do with customers and their clients, building that trust, we do the same thing with the resources. That's an irrefutable law of life, is build relationships, nurture those relationships.
Absolutely. Well, that kind of leads me on to my next topic is, how are you guys actually getting your foot in the door with your new clients? I mean, is it very much referral based, or have you got some other kind of ways of acquisition?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it's a sort of a mixed bag. So yes, fortunately our reputation precedes us. We're a fairly humble group, but our digital marketing certainly helps generate opportunities. A lot of this does come from word of mouth and referrals. Yep. It absolutely does. I mean, I spend a lot of time building relationships with different people, not just in the tech industry as well. My whole focus is trying to make a difference and giving back to people, because I'm inspired and had a lot of support from different individuals. But when they get to know you, they like you, they trust you, they make those introductions, right? Yeah. And then we've done the active networking, we've done the associations, joined certain associations. But at the end of the day, we have a multi-channel approach to how we generate new business. And in the last year, there's been a big pivot towards making sure we're telling our true story, our authentic story, and the type of, how we connect with pain points and challenges and the outcomes that we drive for clients. And, our LinkedIn presence is robust, it's growing, website, same thing. These are some of the ways that we do this, but we also have a very comprehensive business development strategy as well, right? But it's very buyer-centric. It's not saying, hey, here's how great PeopleToGo is. Nobody cares. What they care about is their specific needs and challenges. And that's how we focus our approach. We sit and we listen first and foremost. Right? Tell me what's going wrong. What are the problems that you're dealing with?
Builds massive trust as well, doesn't it?
Everything's trust. I mean, I don't know how you can work in any industry without that trust, right? If they don't have the faith and confidence that you are first of all listening and understand their pain points and challenges and can deliver the outcomes that they need, then you're wasting their time. So, we jump on a discovery call, and this is a lost art and science I could wax philosophical about all day, is the first thing that a salesperson should do is listen. Listen,
100%.
right? Well, we don't always see that, to be truth be told. There's an awful lot of, okay, features and benefits, like people that are product driven. We're not product driven. We don't sell product. And if we did, we put ourselves in competition with every single one of our customers.
Yeah.
So we just do the labor and services piece. And again, our customers have their own value layer. They bring value to the solution as well. But it's really simple. We just have to build trust and maintain that trust with anyone and everyone we do business with, whether it's our customers who are driving the opportunities through their clients or directly with their clients. But what we'll never do is sell directly to the end client.
Okay, interesting. And then in regards, I mean, I'm sure, do you have quite long sales cycles or?
Sometimes it depends on the size of the deal. Everything's different. You know, we have deals that open and close the same day. Now that's rare, and they're not monolithic deals. It's not, you know, they're not handing us the seven-figure opportunity. But when we bid on the large projects, large staffing engagements, or large service contracts, yeah, there's usually longer sales cycles. Sometimes it's tender driven, and you're playing the waiting game. You know, at some point in time, right? But it's a mixed bag. We have literally stuff that comes in today that we'll have resources on site on Monday. So part of they've been calling us the just-in-time technology labor resource company for a long time for a reason, because it's put to the test every day. We had something come in yesterday. It was extremely urgent for a Win 11 project, and the world was ending. Like all of a sudden, a key stakeholder with the client recognized that or realized, you know what, we don't have the resources to do this, and we're not getting support from Microsoft anymore for Windows 10 because that expired in October. Can you get some? And then they went to our customer and said, can you get resources on site like Monday? And our customer was quietly confident we could do it. It's a relatively new customer. We said, yeah, no problem. We asked some questions, got what we needed, turned a statement of work around like in 15, 20 minutes, because we have to in our world move really quickly with the contractual governance. Got a statement of work executed within 2 hours of the opportunity coming in. That's not normal. That doesn't happen every single day, but it does happen every single week.
Really, that's so interesting. Okay, then. So I want to touch back. You mentioned that you're doing some digital marketing strategies. So what would you say the main? Obviously, the majority of your work comes from referrals, but is there one particular thing that's like working really, really well to get your foot in the door with these bigger prospects and these bigger deals? Because I'm sure you've got a different strategy with the enterprise level, the massive clients compared to the smaller SMBs.
Yeah, it really comes down to, I think the big difference really is, it's just the relationships, is that we have leads coming in from multiple angles. A lot of this kind of falls on me, and that was part of the problem for years, is that something happens to me, it's an issue. So we need to make sure we have contingency and a very robust strategy so there's no single points of failure in the business. But my philosophy has always been what I was trained on from our founder from the very beginning. It's relationships. Chris used to say the same thing. It's all about relationships. The reason we survived as a startup company in the first few years was because the founder had spectacular relationships. He had built trust with numerous individuals who respected him, liked him, wanted to work with him, and saw significant value in our value proposition and our business model. And they trusted him first and foremost. That's where it all starts from us. The people that refer me to different types of, to clients, or anybody else in the organization for that matter, they do so because they trust us. And I don't like transactional sales. I don't like transactional relationships. I like long-term, meaningful relationships, and it takes time to build those. So I think we have an old school approach in a new school manner with this, because when I started in the industry, that's exactly what I saw. I saw these pioneers and legends who the relationships were so strong, and now they're not as strong. They're superficial in some cases. It's not a blanket indictment on the industry as a whole, but there are some companies that I think really, really earn their clients' business consistently, right? And again, our customers provide hundreds of thousands of products, hardware products, software, application projects, other types of things. So they can't be masters of everything, and nor can we. And we don't profess to be, but we find ways to work together collaboratively with the same singular focus, which is how do we help your client address that challenge and pain point? How do we drive a measurable impact for them? And how do we continue to earn their business? And then we just both parties nurture the relationships.
So is there, when you say these relationships, is a lot of the first kind of touch point with a client, are you going face to face to actually meet these people? Or is
that is also our lost art and science. There's an awful lot of complacency, especially at least in Canada there is, and I've seen this in the US as well, where people are working from home more than they ever were before. I mean, 100%. That was a game changer with the pandemic. So we've noticed that some of the customers we used to be whining and dining or seeing very frequently in person it's more challenging to get them out than it was before. And I understand the reasons why.
Yeah.
However, I'm a bit old school. I like being in front of people. There's no substitute for that in-person
You
experience.
can't beat it, can you? In terms of
No, you
actually
can't.
building,
You
building
can't.
the relationship, building the connection, you can't beat it.
No, and then when my reps go, I'll go with my reps. They'll say, like, I need you for these sales meetings. So we'll do a blitz in a day. We'll be in, like, Toronto as an example, and we'll be 3 or 4 customers. And it's like, you get this buzz, this energy. You feel like, it's just, there's nothing you can replace it with, to be really honest. So the preference is as much as possible in person. Vast majority of a lot of what we do is definitely remote, because it has to be. Client they could be in England, they could be anywhere, quite frankly. Canada, US doesn't really matter. So because the needs are often they have an urgent need, we have to move very quickly. But doing two-legged in-person meetings where our customers presenting, we're presenting our joint value, and that's a big thing for us, is we want to understand our customers' business models, their value layers, the services they offer, and then we really enhance that. Right? We tell a really powerful narrative when we work with some of our customers about the overall value layer that we provide together. It's stronger together is the approach. And our customers get that, and they do a really good job of relaying that information, but they trust us enough to have us on discovery calls with their clients. Right? And in some cases, these are not clients they've done a lot with. They might have provided a little product but no services, but they're trying to get their foot in the door, because that's where the money is. The profit isn't in product. It is in solution selling, and selling services and solutions to your customers, and the recurring revenue streams you want to create from that.
Very, very interesting. So how have you guys found actually keeping and retaining clients? Does it just come from doing an excellent job and just having that relationship, or is there some other stuff that you've done to actually keep them on board for a really long time?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple different things. Our customer retention rate is almost 100%. I can't remember the last time we lost a customer. Now, not every customer buys from us.
That's handy.
Well, I mean, there are options out there for sure, but I think what separates us is, again, some of the things I've already talked about, that very consultative nature, like really understanding pain points and challenges, the relationships that we build with these people. The other part that really separates us is the awareness, the thought leadership we're developing. So we just created a new piece of thought leadership around why technology companies should sell staffing as a service, because we're dealing with critical labor shortages and skills gaps. And there is no magic wand that anybody can wave to resolve this problem overnight. This is a deeply systemic issue in most countries across the globe, especially in Canada. I mean, this is the reason why we were formed. Right, was to provide the technology industry with a sustainable, reliable, and national on-demand resourcing solution. And that was 25 years ago. So based on all the context I've given you, our origin story at PeopleToGo is more true now than it was back then. Really? So our job is to create awareness and understanding. That's part of our whole strategy from a marketing perspective and sales, let's call it sales enablement perspective, is creating assets, value-added sales enablement assets that create awareness and understanding of the pain points and challenges that companies face, and how we, in partnership with our customers, can help resolve those. So we are constantly educating people about this, and that's what separates us from a lot of competitors, is we're creating that understanding and awareness. We're also talking about the impact to their clients and how we can help resolve that issue and drive measurable outcomes. So they gravitate towards that. And when I got into business, there was more of that being done. There was more case studies, there's more testimonials, there's more white papers and customized decks and things of that nature. Not so much anymore from what we can tell, right? So it's our expertise and it's who we are as individuals and the core values in our company that we embody that I think separate us from a lot of other companies. And we'll tell people no. Like, we'll straight up say, we can't deliver the solution you're asking for. Here's the reasons why. If we have an alternative solution or solutions, we'll propose that. And customers and our clients, they love the transparency, they love the directness, and we're there to support them as best we can, but we can't always give them exactly what they ask for. And in some cases, nobody can. And a part of our job is to break that news to them and say, here's why this can't be done, but here's the alternative. And I've never once been in a call, tens of thousands of calls, where they weren't receptive to the message. It may not have been exactly what they were asking for or hoping for, but would it drive the outcome that they desire? Yes, it's just a different approach. And again, as I mentioned before, our business model is very customizable. We got different pricing models, different strategies for how we do this, that, and the other. But again, it comes down to relationships, building trust, really connecting with pain points and challenges. And then fortunately, we have a massive, massive technology talent pool that we build and manage that we draw from every day to help customers and their clients deliver positive outcomes for themselves and beyond. And that's what earns us more and more business. On top of it, changing jobs in IT is, let's say, I don't want to use the word incestuous, even though I already have. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I personally have, there is some individual stakeholders I've known for over 20 years, maybe longer, that I have worked with, or my sales reps have worked with four different companies. So they left company ABC, went to DEF. Hey, we worked together before, want to work together again. Great. Okay, here we go. As long as they're not an end user client, then we can work with them. So that happens all the time, right? Really? So again, that's indicative of the strength of the relationships that we build. And the in-person thing is a big part of that, as much as we can do. But we've got customers in Asia, we've got customers in Australia, Europe, Middle East, the US. We can't meet everybody in person, but we still bring the personal touch.
That's very, very critical. Coming back to, I want to talk specifically about MSPs. Like when you start to partner with an MSP, like what would you say the main problem or the main thing that you are actually solving, and the desired outcome, like you talked about earlier? What is that for them when working with someone like you?
Yeah, and well, all the technology service companies are a little bit different. So managed service providers are very strategic for us because they provide the remote support. They're keeping the lights on for their clients. But part of the problem that we've seen with the MSPs that we help address for them is, okay, they're also responsible for product, but if the clients that they're servicing are spread out across the country or across North America, MSPs don't have feet on the street services. They do everything remotely. So they can't dispatch one of their own resources to go from, Toronto to Montreal to fix a problem. That'd be just brutally costly and impractical. So what we've been working with them in a very strategic way is understanding that if you're providing product and you're providing the remote support services they need for networking and end user computing, keeping the employees productive, why aren't you installing the new hardware? Why aren't you providing the maintenance services on the hardware? Why don't you be that one-stop shop so your customer doesn't have to go to the manufacturer to dispatch their technicians, because chances are it might be us that's doing it anyways. Yeah. So with MSPs there, it's a fairly strategic for us, is that we're really trying to help encourage them. They have to sell with courage in order to do this, but encourage them to think about, if you're not doing this, if you're not going on site and fixing that laptop or desktop for that employer, going to their home and fixing it, who else? Who is? Somebody is. One way or the other. They might be going to their local IT shop, mom and pop shop, or they might be calling another service provider asking for help. But one way or the other, if you want to provide turnkey value, then sometimes you have to partner up with a company that augments and complements what you offer. And that's why we love MSPs. We don't do remote support, period, end of story. That would put us in competition with every single customer the same way it would if we sold product. But what we do recognize is that they can't deliver the on-site service, especially if their clients are spread out across the country, right? Mm-hmm. So, and some MSPs will only service local clients because maybe they will send one of their techs a couple kilometers to fix a problem. But more often than not, if they're aggressive and they have growth objectives, it's not just their city or their region or province or state. They're servicing clients across the US and Canada, and we want to give them that one-stop shop.
Yeah, interesting. Very, very, that was a good breakdown, to be fair. Okay, then. I would like to ask about, obviously AI is a bit of a buzzword, especially in Canada. You guys seem to be quite innovative, from what I hear. Are you guys adopting AI internally at the moment?
We are, yes. We have first of all, we have our responsible and ethical corporate policy in place for the use of AI. So that's one of the most important things you have to do. Yes, we're going through our AI adoption strategy right now. We embrace AI from a very human-centric perspective, though, right? When I have a lot of C-level executives, even D-level executives, who talk about we can do more with less, and then a lot of those conversations, what they mean is, I could probably get rid of a few people once AI kicks into high gear, because we're going to get those scales of efficiencies and productivity gains. That's not how we look at it at PeopleToGo. We look at this is about empowering our people, so we have that human-centric approach. So our focus is not reducing headcount, it's empowering our people to do more, make more tactical or strategic decisions, and help them even pursue different objectives that they have with their own career growth in our organization. But AI has quickly becoming foundational for us in a very responsible way. I use it extensively and I'm part of our steering committee for this. But we have an incredible leadership team. In fact, 86% of our leadership team are female. So we really embrace. We got gender balance in the demographics of Canada being one of the most multicultural countries in the world.
Yeah.
AI and making sure it's used responsibly and ethically is absolutely essential for us. So we uncompromising on that, but it's not just the here and now. It's not just the future. It's all of the above. So the productivity and efficiency gains I'm getting with my own day-to-day workload. I'll give you an analogy I used with my sales reps the other day. For the first time in 24, 25 years, I feel like I can breathe.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Which is what you want.
I pile the weight of the world on my own shoulders. It's self-inflicted. Nobody's at fault for that except for me. But my productivity has increased significantly.
Really?
Significantly. Things that would have taken me weeks or months to build, like thought leadership and white papers, is taking a fraction of the time. And you learn a lot from your mistakes when you're prompting in AI, prompt engineering, and things like this. But when it really starts to recognize your tone, your intuition, and everything else, it becomes fairly intuitive, and then the outcomes are really, really positive. So, in Canada, it's a different story. Some of the biggest tech companies want to come up here because we have the talent. We have skills gaps and labor shortages, but we have a lot of talent, and this is going to be great for the local economy. But everybody's talking about it. There's a lot of companies that are still dragging their heels. They don't know how to get going. My recommendation is don't do it on your own. That's what we were looking at originally, is find a company that specializes in AI adoption to make sure you're AI ready first and foremost. And the average company won't know what that means until they have that type of conversation.
And do you feel like you're AI ready now?
Yes and no. I think we're taking the right steps. We're doing just as I said. But did we jump in like everybody else and just start using it? We did.
Yeah.
But that can only last for so long, because again, you have to make sure you're using it ethically, responsibly, and of course, data security is pivotal, right? So I think we're doing a lot of that right now. We're doing all of that right now, but in terms of AI adoption, there's a lot of variables that have to be considered. So data security and governance are absolutely essential. And making sure if you're doing down the Microsoft path, you're using SharePoint. That's the AI readiness with that. So the understanding we have of what needs to be done has grown like crazy over the last couple of months. But we recognize that we can't do this on our own. So we're going to partner up with someone. There's a great company we're talking to right now. There's several options. And it's also a referral thing too. We have reciprocal business relationships with some of our partners. So they use us, we use them, or in some cases we just open doors for them. Like we make referrals. So those relationships, again, whether it's a partner, a customer, the end client, or the people in our talent pool, is foundational for us. It's build trust, build rapport, and good things happen. And the reason we get leads and referrals is because they like us and they trust us.
Yeah. Which is the number one thing, isn't it? Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Been some really good insights. Just for the audience and the viewers, I mean, where can they find you if they do want to get in touch with you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I wouldn't say I'm a beast on LinkedIn, but I'm there. I'm very present. I'm posting lots of buyer-centric content, and also recognizing the incredible staff at PeopleToGo for their milestones and achievements. So Chris Collins, I don't know that they handle the LinkedIn URL off the top, but you'll find me at Chris Collins. Yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
Yeah, perfect. All right then, Chris. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been really good to meet you. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. Thanks for the invite.